If you like this video, please subscribe and click that little bell for notifications when we release a new video. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon.
My friends, welcome to Pull My Focus Adventures in the World of Digital Filmmaking, where we bring you the inside tips on making great digital film and video. We are busy wrapping up the edit for our next course that will be available for you guys very soon. It is a videography course by Frank Delario, my buddy, my partner in crime. A full course on how to teach you videography basics. It's insanely good. And it's just the thing that you'll need if you are starting off and you don't know what cameras, you don't know what f-stops are, apertures, shutter speeds, what all the stuff. It is one complete, concise course that you can watch in a full sitting. It's about an hour's worth of information. So you don't have to go around looking for all the little different, Pull My Focus videos that have a little bit here, a little bit there. Comprehensive, awesome. It's almost done. So that's why my desk is a mess and everything. We're in post-production of it right now. But let's talk for a minute, because I'm a content creator just like maybe you are. And I don't know everything about this stuff. And there's some times where I have to go to a YouTube video or some other video. So I'll start off on YouTube usually and say, type in a search and go, how do I do da 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 da? And well, it's very hit or miss on YouTube. Have you ever tuned in to a YouTube channel that this happened? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to create a circle in Premiere. Now we're going to create this circle in Premiere, and here's the circle. And all right, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. So there's a problem with that video. Now, to start off with, the sound, and I warned you in the text, the sound of the voiceover sound was way too low. And then when it got to his exit music, or his theme music, it just blasted my ears out of my head. So the first rule, guys, dolls, everybody, good audio. Please, 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 and we've done many YouTube videos on how to get your audio correct. I'm going to point you to one or two in the description below. I've also done a full course. The first course we've ever come out with was Mastering Audio in Premiere Pro. Get the audio right, otherwise people won't stick around. Now, so let's talk about how to get really good audio. At least passable audio. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because I've done it a million other times. But if you're new to the channel and you're first to hear this information, check this out. And it doesn't matter what editor you're using, the concepts are going to still be the same. So here's what I want you to do. First, let's look at our timeline. So I have a video, like I said, we're working on Frank's videography course. I have it here. Now, if I press play, take a look at the decibel meter here. All right, I'll zoom in. The decibel meter here, okay? Always get your meters up and running, okay? So you can watch, so you can see the levels that are coming in. So his levels, I can hear them in my headphones. If I turn my volume up, I can hear them, right? But this peak, and I'm gonna set this to keep the static peaks. I'm setting this to static peaks. Don't worry about this, but I just want you to see where the highest of his volume is getting in the beginning of this, okay? Okay, notice that yellow mark right there. That's the peak right now. So his natural voice kind of gets that high to -12 dB, or a little less than -12 dB. Let's not worry about these numbers. I'm going to give you the magic number. The range, all your audio is between -6 and -3. Okay, so we are not there yet. There's a we're down here at -12. We need to be up here. So let's think. There are a few ways to boost the audio. Now, one thing is I can just crank it up. Okay, but if I crank it up, it's going to, if he yells at one point, it's going to peak my meter, so it's going to go too much. So the other thing is to use what's called compression. Okay, most editors will have a default kind of compression method. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to find the thing in your editor that edits the entire track of audio. All right, in this case, all of Frank's audio is on audio track 1. All of his speech, all of his voicing, all of his talking is on audio track 1. So I'm going to find the thing in my editor, and in Premiere, it happens to be the track editor. So if I go Window and turn on the audio track mixer, okay, as you can see, audio track mixer, boop. If I turn that on, then that means audio track 1, which is here, everything I do to this track will fix all this audio. Okay. There's also there's some automation in Premiere too for the Essential Sound panel that'll do this for you, but I want you to see how to do it. I don't want to use that because other editors won't have that. Okay. So in your editor, find the way to edit a track. And if you can't find a way to edit a whole track, then you have to add this effect to every clip, which is a little tedious, and maybe find a new editor. In Premiere, if you're a Premiere user, let's go to amplitude and compression, and you might not see this. So this little widget here, you might just see the sliders. I'm going to click this little widget here, boop, and that opens up the effects in inserts and sends. In the effects, I'm going to choose amplitude and compression, and I'm going to let's choose a single band compressor. All right, single band compressor. And now I'm going to double click the single band compressor. And most of these, once again, most editors will have default compressors. Okay, but basically I want to use a compressor, and then I want to bring the output gain to lift the audio a little bit. So I'm going to use something that's very aggressive. Once again, like I said, look at our other videos to find a lot about this, the deep dive stuff. I'm going to use something called Vocal Attacker. And if you take a quick look, and I'm not going to explain too much, but it takes the output gain and it cranks it up 20 decibels, and it's using a ratio of 21:1. What does all that mean? Not really super important. And it's very, most audio files will yell at me for telling you to do this, but I'd rather you start getting into the habit of doing audio in a compressor than not. And this generally will help. Okay, so I'm going to add this vocal compressor. Now watch what happens to the audio.
But, for one reason, because you want to make sure that what you're looking at is in focus.
You see where we are now? We are at the range I suggested. Now, not to get too deep into this, but that's where all of your audio should exist, in that range, or at least all your audio should be consistent with each other and maybe somewhere between -6 and -3. Because that way, if I bring in a song, if I bring in my music, okay, let's bring in my music, which will be the big score. This is my music, and notice how the music looks. Wow, it looks huge, right? If I bring in my music now, and let's just drop the music here. Actually, let's just take all this junk and get rid of it for now. Bring the music there. Okay. Now, once we go from our audio, from our voiceover to our music, actually that should be on a different track because I don't want to get messed with, right? It should sound like this.
Focus on what you want them to look at.
So I would probably maybe bring this down a few. Music is generally always going to be super loud, but these match now. These pretty much match.
To have them focus on what you want them to look at.
Now they're closer together. So the bottom line, people, use a compressor to bring your vocal level up to match whatever music you have. Make sure you watch that VU meter, you watch your decibel meter, the entire video, and make sure nothing is significantly louder than the other thing. That way you won't blow the ears out of people who are trying to crank it up because they can't hear you, and then you play your music and then they die. Okay, so that's one. Audio, super important. This was super quick and dirty. Please refer to our other videos to look at more about compression and equalization and stuff like that. Whew. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is exactly that. Fix your lighting. Lighting is super important. With a camera, it needs light to process an image. If you have no light, you have no image. And most people, right now, the lighting in my room is actually fine for me to see. But the camera, I have dark shadows all over me. I have darker skin, so that's a thing. Let me show you what just two simple little LED lights. These are my desk lamps. So I turn this one on and that one on. That's a little bit, okay? But I also have a panel back there that increases my lighting by plugging in. Wow, that's insane, right? Try and make sure that your lighting is even, and it doesn't cost a lot to do this. This right here is a panel that I bought on Amazon, I think fully battery powered, and it puts out a ton of light. In fact, I could probably turn off that's like a big 1K. And if I had this out of the shot, look at that. Look at how much it lights me. Okay, so wherever your camera is, put a light behind it. Have your light come in from the camera source and up high so it doesn't create weird monster shadows, right? Put this back in. And wow, that's bright. But this is super cheap on Amazon. You can buy a little clamp and clamp it right above. In fact, you see my my lights are right above. I even use it for webcam calls. Whenever I do a webcam call, I'm lit. Make sure your lighting looks good. Make sure you're lighting yourself. You're gonna probably need more lighting when you shoot than when you just live and walk around. Get your lighting right, okay? Simple enough. And the last thing I'm gonna say is less technical and more up to you. So usually as a YouTuber, you'll start, and maybe if you want to tell a story about something, so you'll just get a microphone and you'll start talking, and then later you'll put B-roll on top of it, and then you can have a cool little video. I've seen a lot of like Disney YouTubers. They'll just show parts of the park and they'll talk about it, and it's compelling, it's cool. But eventually you want to get to a point, I think, where you can connect more with your audience. And I think a good way of doing that is to remove your fear of being on camera. Once you have your lights and your sound good, maybe aim the camera at yourself and start your intro. Hey guys, we're gonna talk about Walt Disney World, and I wanna tell you all about Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And then cut to your B-roll. Now, a lot of people get a little nervous about being on camera. It's a thing that you can practice to get better at. It's a thing you can also iterate over time. You will get better. It gets better and better the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you learn to just talk to yourself in a room, to a camera. Talk to the camera like it's a person, okay? None of this I'm doing right now is scripted, but I've been doing this for 4, 5, 6 years. So now I'm at the point where I feel a little more comfortable in front of camera. Don't worry about how you look. I mean, you can obviously comb your hair. There are a lot of really successful YouTubers who, maybe were embarrassed about how they looked when they started off. And then once you get to meet the person, once you meet the person on camera, once they get to be themselves, or once you get to be yourself, it doesn't matter. The people come to see you and they want to hear what you have to talk about. They want to be chilling out in the same place as you, and the context of the stuff just adds more to the interaction. Just try it. Practice putting yourself on camera. Don't bother with the talking to the mirror stuff. Talk to the camera. Actually practice in front of the camera, and you'll see your audience will be able to connect to you as a person more than just connecting to the information that you're giving. Okay? And I mean, a lot of famous YouTubers are doing that. Peter McKinnon, he could actually show all of his photography and everything is insanely good. He could carry that entire channel just on showing his videography and his photography because it's that good. But he'll sit down with a cup of coffee and be like, hey guys, we're gonna talk about color correction. doesn't need to. Try to get over the fear of being on camera, all right? And that's it. So in conclusion, these are things that are going to help your channel. Like, these are the simplest things. Get your audio right first. Make sure your lighting looks good. Just light your scene up. And don't be afraid to actually put a face to the voice. Don't be afraid to be on camera and talk to your people, talk to your audience, and let them connect with you as a person. And that's it. I got to get back to post-production on the videography course that will be coming out soon. We'll make sure to let you guys know where and how to get it. It is going to be amazing. It actually already is amazing. And it helps you a lot with a lot of stuff that I already talked about really in brief. It goes into real detail, especially the lighting stuff. And thanks for watching. Make sure to check out pullmyfocus.tv for our companion articles that go with these videos. And make great videos, guys. Let's do this. Starting with those 3 rules, of course. All right. Frank, you never looked better.